Even though we're 3-0 against EG, they're definitely not an easy team to play against. I feel like the entire team as a whole had just stepped up.
Right now, EG is looking like really scary in my opinion, and I think I'd be happy enough to beat them. They're dangerous now, and they will become even more dangerous in the future.
We have been constant scrim partners with EG for 2 weeks now, and it's very back and forth, and they're a really good team, and when we play them, we're definitely going to be prepared.
Welcome back to Week 10 of the North American Summer Split, all you beautiful people. We're moving on to our next match, Team Solo Mid versus Evil Geniuses. Kobe, there are going to be a lot of TSM fans anxiously waiting to see how their new support, Lustboy, performs with the team.
Yeah, that being said, it is always risky to do a substitution this late in a split, but TSM have gone to Worlds every year, and they see this move as necessary to make it back this year. If you look at their record, they are 3-9 against the rest of the top 5 teams, and those are the teams that they will have to beat to return to Worlds. But looking at this match, TSM are a perfect 10-0 against bottom 3 teams.
And for Evil Geniuses, they had a huge win last week, taking down the #1 Counterlogic Gaming. Spirits were high, but weren't meant to last. The next day, they were dismantled by Dignitas in commanding fashion.
And as we've heard Dyrus say, EG are looking scary. They have been putting on, they've been putting a lot of work into their draft phase recently. Against CLG, they came prepared and they were able to counter the team well. But against Dignitas, their strategy backfired. They knew Zion wanted to play Nidalee, and they gave Dignitas the champion on purpose because they thought that they had a counter pick ready with Aurelia. But as we saw, in-game, they were not able to execute their plan. Innox was left by himself, and he didn't get any support as he faced a 2-man lane with Crumbs and Zion, who snowballed that advantage into a Dignitas victory. And that brings us to the bright spot for EG. It is their bottom lane, which was actually winning against KiwiPie. So EG may turn their attention to the bottom lane of TSM and look to take advantage of TSM's new support and carry partnership.
The dapper Krepo today. So let's check out the starting lineups here. On the blue side, it's Team Solo Mid. That's going to be Dyrus in the top lane. Amazing in the jungle. Bjergsen in mid. Wild Turtle at AD carry. I was so happy to say Lustboy. And Lustboy on support.
And on the red side, it's Evil Geniuses. Up top, Innox. In the jungle, Helios. Mid, Pobelter, AD carry Altec, and support Krepo.
Check that wild Turtle and Altec lane this time. See how these guys do. It's going to be tough. We saw Glebe come on, and there's 2 ways to look at this, right? How a team works with someone and how a single person is going to fill a position and work with a team. So those are 2 things that have to come together, let alone what strategies they're now going to use for the teams they have to face. TSM wants that top spot, so are we going to see different play from them, or is Lustboy the different play and they'll stick with wheelhouse strats?
Yeah, it's so weird how many different factors there are with roster swaps with these teams. Like, you never know if a team they really want to get rid of one person sometime, or someone like Odd One just leaves, then it forces a team to just find someone, the best available person to fill that spot. And it's not always that they really wanted to replace person A for person B. It's sometimes that the situation just mandates they need somebody new to fill a spot. We'll see though. Lustboy, he's been dueling with Turtle quite often, and the consensus is, at least among TSM members and TSM management, that it's going a lot better than it was with Glebe.
Maybe they foreshadowed a Twitch. Just in the lobby, somebody said, Lustboy, ? And he said, I'll be right under their noses, which is a Twitch comment. So maybe they're going to Twitch this round. We'll have to see. Lulu picked up in the beginning.
Detective Riv putting together the news here. Look at that though. Lustboy, first game in the LCS, draws a ban on Nami, which we have not seen.
Good call.
People target support bans other than Morgana so far in the North American LCS, but Lustboy grabs one for himself.
It's always nice to have. Coming in, making an impact right away. We'll see what else he can do from the bottom lane. EG to decide their picks after seeing Lulu.
Well, I think it's a good reaction from Evil Genius. I don't know if they planned that ban or if it was a reaction to the Braum ban from TSM, because if Braum is not on the table, then Nami, her value just skyrockets because there's nothing to block her ultimate, and she's such a strong, sustained support. It really makes for a very good laning phase for a lot of combos. So that might be very good adaptation from EG, actually, in the draft phase.
Helios taking the Lee Sin. Very aggressive. His first play with EG was on that champion. Just throwing himself in the fire for Innox's first blood. Somebody they love to get going. But we also see the pickup for Altec on the Tristana.
Yeah, so popular in North America. This Tristana pick, for a long time, a lot of North American AD carries really favoring it. She has good bullying power early with the explosive shot. But we'll see how he can get through that mid-game lull. Because there are options like Corki. It's one of the best,
a little bit more.
Best options at punishing that mid-game lull. Tristana is Corki, who actually has pretty much the opposite curve of Tris.
Yeah.
And Corki can bully him. But nope, we'll just see the top 2 AD carries for North America once again.
Tris Kog'Maw looks familiar.
Yes,
amazing.
sir.
Getting that Dexter, getting that Elise. I love the way the brain works.
The Dexter. Yeah, it's weird how Dexter always gets Elise. You've made the connection. But yeah, TSM Amazing is actually undefeated on this champion.
Right,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, while it's a big deal and Dexter always gets the champion, he's actually dropped quite a few games on her. Whereas Amazing, I believe he's still undefeated on Elise.
It would be quite a feat. That's for sure. See Pobelter and Altec. Pobelter, who we call the wild card. Can he pick something up that really would thwart out Team Solo Mid here? This looks like both 80 carries, I should say, both mids are leaving their pick for last.
So the scaling tank, not only do EG have the scaling 80 carry, but they also have the scaling tank. I wonder what mid they would want to use to try and get through that mid game, because they need a strong mid game champion who's not going to lose lane. If they just get pushed in all lanes, then it would be difficult for them, and Amazing would probably be able to get a lot of early action done with Elise. We'll see here. Taking away 2 shields here, TSM. They've piled on some extra defensive capabilities for that Kog'Maw. So they pretty much got the monopoly on support champions here, TSM. They've got 3 shields ready to roll for Turtle.
That Thresh pickup was interesting for me. We usually see that Krepo would go right for Morgana no matter what's up. See where they can go. Lustboy gets that for himself. The Thresh will be what they keep Altec safe with this game. And Pobelter, the Syndra pickup.
Yeah, there's that strong mid. They want to have something to work off in the early game.
Yep.
We'll see. Pobelter he's been one of the guys that you can actually expect to come out with solo plays. And with Elise in jungle, Helios will probably be running a lot of his early game centered around that mid lane. Whereas in the top Innox, I mean, you're playing against an Elise as Mundo. You always have to worry about that early tower dive, just because Elise is one of the best champions at pulling that off, and Mundo is one of the most vulnerable top laners. We'll see if he does get caught.
Oh, well, see if they take him down. The champs are locked in and the game is taking shape. Let's see who you guys think will win. Right over to lolesports.com. It's 84% of you saying that Team Solo Mid is going to win as you have clicked for them.
And be sure to continue voting throughout the game by tweeting #TSMWin or EGWin to @LOLesports.
So how does a new team kind of consider if you would see a new team pull somebody on? Do you focus that guy? Do you do anything special for that guy? Do you play the team kind of as you would, as they didn't change anything?
Well, especially since he's in the bottom lane, I think you definitely do focus that and try and exploit any communication weaknesses. Anytime a team brings in a Korean player, there's always that hump to get over. Now, everyone said Lustboy's English is very, very good, especially even compared to the other Korean players that have made their way over. We'll see how it works out, though. And he has been doing a lot with Turtle, so maybe they've already got some of that instinct down, where you have to play with somebody in the duo lane for a long time before you know how they'll react to a certain situation. That way, you don't have to say something, because there's not always time to call. We need to go aggressive now. We need to run. You just need to react the same way.
And one of our ones to watch this week is Lustboy, so we will be sure to keep an eye on him as he starts setting his feet down on North American soil.
We will also get to see his timing on his black shields.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very important.
See if there's the quick fingers from Lustboy here. The fans have been for and against the trade. We'll see if it works out for Team Solo Mid. They've made a lot of the right decisions. As we said in the preview show, a lot of support changes that have come towards the end of a split have worked out.
TSM are going to go for an invade here because they just had Amazing defensively award their red and they're grouping up on this side. Maybe TSM even go for a lane swap. They do a red invade and lane swap their Kog'Maw up to the top side to get away from Altec. Altec and Krepo have been getting much more scary as a duo
30 seconds until minions spawn.
as they have been able to put in more games together.
Very interesting start to the game. Shield start coming in for Bjergsen. Not too bad against a Syndra. That'll still work. He can get in for auto attacks. But they were going for an armored tank there on Amazing to make sure they could at least go a little bit harder than they wanted. Or could have, I should say.
Tricky move by TSM.
Good
I always
wards.
like recalling in the bush rather than exiting because EG does not get to see TSM exit. And they have to continue guessing where they are. This is such a dangerous game for Helios to be playing, walking around in this TSM side invaded jungle. But it's just Amazing and Dyrus that were left over there. They're going with a very bold move to actually only do the two-man steal here.
Placement.
Wow. Wards on both other buffs, though, for EG. By process of elimination, EG have to figure out that TSM are starting on this red side because they have both other buffs warded.
Well,
Innox goes to check it out himself.
Gets a little bit of help.
Now they're 100% sure.
There it goes. I was going to say, he almost lost vision.
That buff start.
Helios making the move already. They'll be making them up top towards the Wraith side and down towards the red, so they will be trading quite nicely here. Unless we see Amazing try to dip through mid. They just get pinged out. We saw that before, but he's not going to.
Level 1, we already see the aggressive WildTurtle. Pop W, go for auto attack harass. That's...
Why not? Costs nothing.
It's the play of the game there for Kog'Maw early laning phase.
Always so fantastic if you can get them tripped up in their minions. Get more shots on. Krepo trying to keep in range and do what he can. Innox getting hit up. Top lane, level 2 on Dyrus. He takes advantage of that first. And a level 2 in the bottom lane from Krepo and Altec on Lustboy and WildTurtle. They're forced to back up. Little zone defense now. Great job. Doesn't look like they're going to lose too much CS, though. They're in
Helios
range.
not go for an answer on the buff? I think he counter jungled it, actually, because he definitely headed over there. Okay, he's got both buffs. He just counter jungled the red for TSM.
Right.
So he left a couple babies there for Amazing, and they won't get a red buff respawn on TSM's side as quick. Gank choices for both teams, interesting here. As we said, Helios would probably make a lot of plays off the mid lane, whereas Amazing is going to go for that dive on the Mundo early. Both teams should be aware of these early jungle strategies too. It's pretty clear for both of them. We'll see how Dyrus is able to handle this dive, or Innox, I mean, is able to handle this dive. He does defensively ward and walk away.
It was nice. He got level 3. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike. Bjergsen not forced to blow too much.
Large jump.
No summoner spells, but yeah, there's some lane advantage for Pobelter, and he loves to work off little things like that.
Yeah. Both of these junglers, though, very easy to predict early on so far with the way this game is going. Neither of them chose to try and counter the other. Fairly successful move mid for Helios. Gets a good chunk, but no summoners. Innox was also zoned off for a while, so I guess both of them decently successful ganks, but not surprising that neither of them were able to get more than that.
Very
pretty obvious.
Quiet on the home front here in this duo lane. WildTurtle and Lustboy really not trying to put too much aggression into effect. You see one binding there for some harass. It's 27 to 22.
Yeah.
Ooh, Turtle missing a few.
Yeah, he's trying to wait till he gets to level 6 to go really aggressive too. Yeah, man, 3 in a row. Side bush control is very important for these for this duo down bottom as well, because if Krepo can throw out his hook from the bush and there's no TSM ward in there, much easier to land. Also, we get a little window into the mind games that go with Morgana Thresh matchup.
Wow.
Which one are you going to target with your hook?
That would have been perfect. He definitely would have gotten Lustboy.
All right, so that'll be a 10-minute red buff rather than the normal 7 for TSM.
They definitely have that called out. Those are the things we heard. The junglers being able to give a specific timer and where they'll be. A 10-minute red buff may actually hurt a little bit. We'll see how Amazing works with that. Damage back on Altec. Gets a bit of a Voidoo slowdown, but they trade evenly. It's like still a bit of a lead in that bottom lane. No kills yet throughout this game. I thought we'd see a little bit more aggressive from the early part, especially with TSM invading. They should be in 2 minutes ready to go back for Helios' red.
I mean, there's still a big window for both junglers to actually make plays because the wards on the map, nobody has spent money on wards yet. There's still very, very little vision. This is still the jungler playground where you get to make whatever gank you want. Neither of them going for big moves, though, just farming up their jungles. There's that 0 wards on the map for TSM right now, by the way. I don't know if... Okay, they got one pinged out by EG. But, man, are they blind right now. And Helios, he's blind as well. He's waiting in the bush. Oh, base pick by Elise is terrible for her in this matchup.
He used Tempest before he connected his Q on accident. Fast fingers get him into a bit of trouble.
Got excited there. Elise is walking into me human form, face first. That is, that's perfect for Elise. And
yeah,
almost said amazing, man. That would be bad. Helios not giving up on the pressure, though. He got the early lead. Goes for an invade. Gonna get a time for the smite. No!
Little babies. Nope, spiders were in the way. Couldn't connect the Sonic's wave. He will be able to steal this out. Small harass, not giving Amazing exactly what he wants, but at least he's getting the bigger camps as he makes his way with that harass around the jungle. 7 minutes on the clock so far. A bit of a gold lead from Team Solo Mid here and there. Definitely no kills or objectives within that cache.
And Turtle clawed his way back here. He'll get back up to within 6 CS. Did he just not walk in that bush, I believe? All right, Amazing. Scene up top, so Innox decides to peace out. Oh, pop the ulti.
Good choice, full wave.
That was an early cleaver there. All right, repeat red buff steal, though.
Yep.
Because Amazing actually cleared it out, he has the exact timer, whereas Helios doesn't have it. And again,
kick.
Helios a little bit too late, I think. Oh, he missed it.
Oh, he hit the spider, so that's a lot of damage. He dodged out on that. The stun's not there from Scout of the Week. Amazing could crawl out of this one alive. Woo. There's the dissonant safety, the connection, the Tempest to hit, but Helios will not have the control to put him back in the fight. Not level 6.
That was so well played by Amazing to escape from that. Gets the cocoon off just as the Syndra stun lands, and then knowing Syndra stun is down, he knows the target to jump to is Syndra 100% because she does not have follow-up CC to land on him, and he's able to walk away. Woo! Very good job by the amazing Elise Spider-Man. Get away from there.
Doing whatever to Spider-Man can. Dyrus top lane. He has no, he does not have teleport to get back, but he's already crushing a giant wave into Innox's turret. 62 to 40.
Yeah, as soon as Innox can get his cowl, though, he goes back for the cowl. That's really the item that will put a stop to a lot of this bullying. It's going to help out Innox a lot because any little bit of magic damage triggers your regen there. So that's going to help him out. And Innox is really going to hope to stop that bleeding now. Bleeding CS in the top lane. Dyrus, though, what a rock. Getting a pretty good lead for the team. And meanwhile, that CS discrepancy down bottom we mentioned with Turtle not getting out of hand. He hasn't let it increase at all. And he's got the level 6 now. So Kog'Maw feeling much, much better about the harass game in this bottom lane once he hits level 6. Still has to worry about the hooks, but Lustboy's done a good job so far protecting him.
Definitely been TSM trying to shut down Helios throughout this. Having Lustboy in the bottom lane, they give WildTurtle and Lustboy time to farm. They're not trying to do much. As I say that, he starts to hover towards the bottom lane now. Put down some
TSM or EG were pinging out Amazing the entire time he was walking down there, though. So they knew since he exited the mid lane, all the way down to that bottom. Plus lane is pushing anyway, hard to pull out that gank.
Definitely helps that he's been putting a crutch on Helios with these red buff steals. He's down 8 CS. Have not seen Helios as aggressive as usual, out in the lanes trying to get ganks for his team. Like I said, the first time Helios and Innox went for a gank, the time Helios was on the team, he died just for Innox's first blood. It's been toned down a bit, especially with Amazing on his tail all game. Again, Helios being found out. He just hit 6 and he almost goes down. Complete half health from just a few abilities.
Yeah, but he just placed that pink ward. That's a huge win for TSM, actually. Worst feeling in the world when you immediately place your pink ward and it gets insta-killed. 100 gold down the drain.
They're trying, a little aggressive. They've had the pink ward sitting at red the whole time because they have that control, but I think Helios just saw that they don't have enough control to start laying them a little farther forward.
Yeah, that's probably the most common pink ward because it's so easy to defend.
Right.
You can see both teams have them right now on the backside of their red buffs.
Ooh. With that aggression, looks like it might be time for a dragon.
It was such a good chunk on Helios, and since they saw him exit into the top side jungle, a really good and bold call from TSM. I like the play. Their bottom lane also, they were able to time aggression. Bottom lane going for harass and zoning out Altec and Krepo, so there's no answer here.
17-minute dragon for TSM. Looks like the pink ward's in a little bit better of a spot, but they'll be known.
Yeah, you really have to commend
down.
the teams. I think it's the best teams are the ones that they take these small advantages that were even just, okay, I chunked Lee Sin to 30%. That's great. Okay, I'm sad I didn't get a kill, but what can they turn that into? It's pressure on the jungle that they can get Dragon off of, and it's a huge pickup for them. They gain a whole objective just by chunking down Lee Sin, killing off his pink ward.
I'm very interested to see what Pobelter does off of this. Not using his ultimate to push out Bjergsen on that or any summoners. They don't go for mid, and they're just going to get forward wards here, but
Dyrus.
Little do they know that entire jungle is out. Dyrus about to take down top, and Innox along with it.
Innox has lost so much health, just a cleaver spam because he's trying to CS with it. Constantly chugging his potions the whole time, and even the cowl, I guess too late.
Yeah.
Isn't able to stem the bleeding, and Dyrus slowly chips away, as Dyrus does. He's rewarded with the top turret for nothing.
He stayed in range. Getting that extra gold. 105 to 77, like you said, and he's staying. He doesn't really have the wards for it right now, but he knows
Helios
with the
forcing
amount
so
of time.
much on this mid lane.
Always. Keeps going back to the same spot.
Yeah, he really needs
Maybe if
that
not the
exit-
first or second,
exit
the
ward
third
too.
time's a charm.
Again, though, pink ward placed, pink ward killed.
Yeah.
My God.
Painful. Return on investment coming in big for TSM. That roam is paying off. And
I have to
wow, they
say-
shut down vision everywhere.
I have to say, because Loco specifically, when he came in with the coaching, one of the main things he said he was going to focus on was the warding for TSM. And they are doing a fantastic job of controlling vision this game. The entire team focusing on it as an objective. This TSM team is no longer the Bjergsen and friends. I'm an assassin, feed me, and I
Right.
will just roll over any team in North America.
Again,
They're actually looking like a coordinated team now.
getting ready for the red, making sure everything's propped up here. See what TSM can keep doing. It's not even like they're focusing on a ton of pink wards either. They're laying down the wards, whether it's a trinket or regular from that sight stone, but then working within that window of the ward to get something out of it too.
Also, the accuracy of their sweepers. Every sweeper is when they know there's a ward here. We don't see so many random sweeps that we see a lot of people do. They're like, oh yeah, I'm playing a division game. I got a sweeper. You're supposed to do that, right? And then you just...
Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah. You have to actually use it wisely, which is something that takes a while.
I'm not a wise sweeper user.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some bushes are just really high chance for there to be a ward there, and you can guess a lot of the time.
That's that game sense.
If you see, yeah, exactly. If you see people, hovering around one side, there are a lot of little tells that will help you with your sweeper usage.
Oh, so
On top of that timer this time.
a few invades. TSM Amazing will leave the red buff to the wayside now for Helios. Looks like I thought Dyrus
Sweeper
would come down.
accuracy.
He's good.
TSM. Juicy. See if they can make this dive happen, though. EG, since their ward just got sweep, they're like, okay, pretty sure we got a dive coming.
For bottom lane right now. Team solo
Lustboy.
mid trying to dictate what's going on. Altec grabs the lantern for the Thresh Express. Gets himself out. Dyrus with a teleport to the bottom lane. Comes in right on the minions. Threshold goes in. Amazing's going to get the wild growth. Wow, back and forth. Shockwave goes down and TSM is trying to recoup and figure out what just happened. That was Lustboy going
Both
down.
supports got killed is what just happened, but TSM got the first blood off an amazing shockwave from Bjergsen. Plus, they have the advantage in health bars, and they're able to easily zone out, take the objective on top of this. Whoa, a two turret shove this early.
Very strong
Very
push
bold.
through.
Krepo's going to be back very soon.
Don't have the
Also,
wave.
they can heal easily. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bjergsen's got blue buff, though. They feel
They
confident.
do have the wave. They were just sitting on it, couldn't see it on the mini-map. They're going to be able to take this down.
Holy.
Helios would be a very, very scary position to try and
Risky
come and
play,
create
they got
anything out of
it.
this.
Can they
Krepo,
escape?
he's going to go down. Helios does not want to do this. Innox is going to be coming in, but he is only tanky to the magic resistance right now. Can TSM pull this one around? Helios actually making a huge play. The rest of EG with quarter of a health bars are able to come in.
Amazing!
Turn it around. No, they don't. Amazing comes up huge. Jungler versus jungler now. Red buffs and both versus nothing. Helios goes in. The kick comes out. He can't take him down. Amazing lives.
Whoa! What an outplay.
He took his hands off the keyboard. Look at this.
I thought that Amazing not focusing Altec when he jumped in.
I gotta
going
watch
for the
this
extra
again.
kill.
I literally have no idea. Like,
Okay.
really.
Take a second try here, Riff. Play by play again. But look at the value of this Kog'Maw passive. Expert use of Kog'Maw passive right there.
That was huge.
From Turtle, by the way. So Amazing, he ignores Altec, which I'm like, whoa, what are you doing, Amazing? But Dyrus is able to get the kill anyway, so probably worth it here. And then this repel over the Q is what wins Amazing the duel.
Wow.
And he gets the kill, which gives him enough life to survive. Woo!
All right.
Now that was a risky call to go for that second turret, and that's why we thought it might have been bad for TSM, but they play the fight out really well. And I have to say the turning point is actually the Kog'Maw passive that explodes
That
on 4.
was huge. The Cathian surprise placed very well
Turtles
by
put a lot
WildTurtle.
of time practicing the use of that. Dragon
Still
though.
didn't use the fanfare while he was dying.
All right,
Not
we got
worth
a flanking Pobelter here. Syndra could wreck from the back line.
Amazing taking both Sonic Wave and
Doesn't
the
do
Thresh
it.
Hook.
There's a pink ward.
Krepo gets hit. Dragon's getting his heal on right now, so they're going to have to do some big damage to get that back down. They both posture again. Nobody really has vision of the other team in this situation. They've only warded themselves.
Now that it's cooled off into a standoff here,
Yeah.
I don't think EG should fight this. They are not in any situation to take a fight with TSM.
Double
at this
rods and
point in the game.
fiends? No.
If Shockwave is up and Wild Growth is up, they should not be forcing. Well, the thing is to hold on. Camera showed that, but bottom also, EG are getting an answer, so don't get fooled. It was just an even trade. Bjergsen, though, he's going to keep pushing. Looks like he's making his way over to second. TSM just want to buy time to get more of an advantage. EG need to force this.
This is exactly why having mid go down for your team is awesome, because then you can just rotate in. It's going to be a little bit longer walk for Robert if you went down. This is good damage. Double shockwave. Innox is going to get hit up after that. A triple kill coming in for WildTurtle as he puts the shell on and goes hard.
And that's why you should not be forcing that fight for EG. They were so
You're
far down.
balled up right where they want you.
It's going to cost them a Baron here.
Oh, wow.
I love the
With
play
this
from
low.
TSM. You have to respect the call from TSM. They know that they have this big lead, and they put EG in a situation where EG have to force something. They have to make a play. Because if not, the TSM are going to get a secondary turret down mid. The play, though, is not to tank Dragon
No.
and go for an initiate at the same time. They get a hook, initiate, at the same time they're taking damage from Dragon. And then, man. All right, so they start off Dragon, and then, ooh, we landed a hook. Oh, better initiate. And that's going to be terrible because Innox is already at half. He's not taking on the front line. Dyrus lives by some amazing miracle.
That shield.
And Bjergsen comes in for the cleanup easily. Woo! This game just got out of hand. TSM.
Yeah, TSM just got a
Steamrolling.
big lead. 8,000 now in the lead is what they're looking at. So much gold they have to work with. Dyrus, he should be okay in this situation. His ult is up again. He's going to go ahead and whimsy out of this one. He'll be all right.
Is he?
Oh! Altec!
Is he?
He's good to go!
And he got the flash from the Tris. It was a desperation play. It was a desperation play.
Very
from EG.
desperate.
Well, they are very desperate, so they tried to make something happen, didn't pan out, so now it's going to be a even bigger answer from TSM.
Difficult situations, difficult times here for EG. Low on money, and trying to get kills that are putting themselves in tough situations.
Yeah, there are two schools of thought. When you're super far behind like this, you either play very defensively and turtle and ward up your own jungle and wait for your opponent to make a mistake, or you go for one of those crazy low-risk desperation attacks. And EG have always been a team that does not like to sit around and wait for their opponents to make a mistake. If they're behind, they try and force something. They try one of these desperation plays. And a lot of the times it does bite them in the back.
Whew.
Happened again this time, and they lose 2 turrets for it.
Very close.
Nope. They lose 1 turret,
Yeah.
90% of the second turret.
You're close. You were close. I'll give it to you.
He hasn't given up yet.
Just a gimme.
There.
Krepo, that's not good. Amazing could hit him with the cocoon, but they don't decide to follow. The EG spread just a little too intimidating on what could have been engaged. But still, TSM with a 10,000 gold lead could probably reassess this fight and quickly take it back in their favor, even if they got off on the wrong foot. Good given vision there by the living artillery. Looks like Dyrus is going to start creating the split push. TSM now able to dictate in more than one lane how this game is going to go. Let's see how EG reacts to this. Looks like the entire team is going to be having a party bottom lane. Why not? Map is objective free at the moment, so there's nothing to worry about. Every lane is pushed up to where they want it. It's going to be hard for EG to stop anything.
Krepo going for these.
Oh!
Not paying off.
1, 2, and a 3 is all it took on that one. Thank you very much. Says amazing on the kill, and it looks like they're going to be getting the inhibitor turret. TSM walking this one in through the front door. They at least rang the doorbell for courtesy, but doesn't look like they're going to be giving up too much once they're on the inside. EG's going to have to run out the back door, apparently.
So the thing about Thresh Hook is that it exposes you because of the wind-up time. It's not an easy skill shot to throw out. You have to stand in one place while you wind up. And man, does it open you up for counterplay.
Oh no, he's going to take her. That flash. Just Turtle being able to blow the flash. He probably wouldn't have needed Amazing or Lustboy's crowd control to lock in that kill. He is big now with the Alacrity boots on top of that phage of the Triforce. He is moving real quick, keeping himself safe and keeping himself aggressive. EG, one last chance to possibly answer.
Look at the map too. TSM have kept this map so clean of EG wards. Every time they put it down,
all game.
There's a sweeper, there's a pink ward, there's an answer from TSM. The only thing that EG have warded is the inside their own base, and this tiny little bush over here that seems to have 2 wards in it for some reason.
If they can get to it, they're going to pull a Fnatic.
That is, yeah. EG are like, they are not going to Fnatic death push us. That is something they don't have to worry about though, because TSM don't need to sit in a bush and wait.
But you're right, Kobe. Especially in just the situation of finding those wards, help them get kills on Helios, help them escalate the game into their favor. So kind of just going along with their regular plan is what put them in the lead. They haven't really tried anything crazy.
Well, now that they have the lead, they do not have to wait for Baron. They do not have to wait for Dragon. They can easily walk up to a siege because they have so much zoning. Cocoons, Dark Bindings, both coming out 24/7, and a shield that they can put on Turtle. Whenever he activates his W to get the range, he can get several pot shots off on a turret, which will take it down very, very quickly. They can lay down this skill shot CC cover fire for him and slowly siege on whichever lane they choose. Look at this opportunity EG have taken, though, to try and get vision while TSM are away from home. They get a little smattering just outside their base, just for the off chance that they can pull off some crazy fight, picking a straggler from TSM if they get too close.
Oh, Sightstone's being used out. But at least Amazing and Lustboy working together on those wards. And you can see TSM sweeping, warding, always remembering. I was just about to say, do you think they'll kind of forget and let it fall to the wayside? Not at all. They get right into the jungle. All sweepers, but the top 2 just coming off a cooldown have been used for Team Solo Mid. Gaining all that vision. They still have a little bit more to clear, but that's only to the wall. That's EG trying to get a last-ditch effort and go for broke here if TSM were to go again.
Now, I said TSM don't have to wait for these objectives, but I guess they are anyway. Going to play it pretty safe. Baron about to come up, Dragon about to come up. Let's see if they can get anything done on top side. Though, whoa, this rotation, they've got no minion wave to work with.
They still
EG are not reacting though. They're still, this should be a TSM turret without any repercussions.
If RNG is on Altec's side, he can put out some damage. He's not looking at any armor just yet on that side of TSM, but they have to get in range, and that's been very hard for them for the past 10 minutes. 40 seconds on Baron with now an open inhibitor scratching at EG.
That's about it for EG.
Yeah.
We'll see. Double inhibitors taken. Kog'Maw's got Trinity Force plus Bork and a Negatron Cloak. So not only does he have shields on shields on shields, but he's also beefy just by his item build that he's gone. They have nothing to worry about. Wow, they don't even finish off the inhibitor and they make the call to go bait for Baron. Interesting choice.
I feel they
easily
here.
could have finished that inhibitor.
They know they have the wards here. They can easily take the fight.
They're going for the bait instead. EG are taking it. Hook, line, and sinker.
This is
but
scary.
they didn't take the route that TSM wanted them to take. So they actually circumvented.
Oh!
Wow. The okie doke.
How about them apples?
It's not even an old Baron buff.
But this is even like more of a forced fight than Baron is.
So I feel like they didn't have to do that, but it looked really cool doing that. It was. Not only are we going to crush you, but we're also going to make you look silly running around in the jungle.
So
Man,
the game of cat and mouse +1 to team solo mid inside the jungle.
That's kicking them when they're down, actually. They could do the same thing, circle around bottom. There's so many games TSM could play with all this control that they have. But.
Well, that just goes to show the amount of vision that they actually have.
Yeah.
Not even one person was caught out by the edge of a ward on that, and TSM knew well that they weren't going to be seen. We have them backing just a little bit to clear out the waves and push it back up mid. Now with 8 turrets to 1 in the game. That was only the bottom turret that EG was able to grab during a Dragon Force from TSM. They haven't really been able to get out past the map.
Continue. Dun, 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 dun. Are they going to check once again? This time they're actually going for the kill. EG are not going to play this game. Oh, they are going to play this game. All right. They go face check 4-man.
Oh! Just freezes them up. The flashes. Wow, TSM really wants this one. They're flashing for it. Going very hard. Bjergsen and the rest of them.
They wanted.
They do push EG off.
Yeah.
They're going to go mid-inhib here.
They could easily swing down to that bottom one, though. They don't have a minion wave to work with. They're just going to have to use shields.
Taking quite a bit of damage. Such a level advantage coming on the side of Team Solo Mid. 2 15s to some 13s, 11s. This is tough. EG either have to really put this into the late game, or they have to catch one of TSM members off guard when they're trying to just kind of walk around the jungle lackadaisically.
Good check from Krepo there.
This team's still in a scary spot. They can get closed in on.
TSM can do whatever they want around this Baron. Looks like they'll finally pull the trigger.
Whew.
No Pobelter, so this would be a 4 versus 5 if TSM can turn around and force it.
5k Baron HP.
Yeah. Helios, this is actually good for EG. They've got the chance to steal.
3,000.
Helios would probably die if he went for this steal, but if he was able to actually secure it, probably still wouldn't be worth it.
1,600 Baron. Helios just on the outside as they stop it. He's going to go in. Oh, my amazing says thank you very much from the outside. That was gift wrap.
I feel like this whole end game is just TSM just playing games. They're like, you know what? I'm going to dangle this Baron in front of your face. You want to try and steal it? Go ahead. Try and steal it. Try and steal it. Helios goes for it. Amazing just takes it back.
That Helios had his resonating strike percentage damage and the smite. And Amazing just was like, smite, whatever, drop the mic, walk away, team gets Baron.
Yeah.
AG picks up another dragon for themselves, but they're crawling back now, looking for the next rung of the ladder, and it's very far away from them. They get a piece of it there, but 10,000, 11,000 gold behind right now, 11-4, and they only have 3 turrets left on the map guarding their Nexus, and they don't even all have to be taken down. TSM has the front door to run through.
Yeah, regardless how TSM, they played really well in the beginning. They got this early lead that they deserve, but they might want to look at this game with their coach again because they have opened themselves up to a little bit of risk there with the Baron.
Yeah.
That was probably unnecessary and would not want to do in most
Bit of a heart
situations.
attack. Bit of a heart attack.
Now they are finally swinging bottom to the open inhibitor, though, the bottom inhibitor here, which they can once again probably just stand up toe-to-toe with EG and slowly take down the inhibitor. EG, their play is going to come from long-range Cinderstun.
Yeah.
If they can get Pobelter to hand, have a long-range Cinderstun, miraculously get through Black Shield and land on somebody that Lustboy's not watching, then they might be able to make something happen. The other thing they could look for is a flank from Innox. It'd be TP's in behind and walks all the way to the back, but
he's 2 levels behind at the moment. He's doing what he can. He's had a tough game. Had to build the exact max on each opposite of magic resistance and then armor, because you're facing an AP team with then a Kog'Maw who's going to destroy through you.
Yeah.
A little bit of AP in itself. So very hard build in the lane he had to come out and fight.
yeah, and whoever gets focused by EG too, TSM so many shields to answer.
Right.
They don't have to use all their shields. They don't have to use them all on Turtle. If EG can't even get to the back line and can't even get to Turtle, they'll happily use their shields on their makeshift front line here.
Turtle has been standing in front. No problem with that. One stun comes out. We got to remember, once everything is used, that almost relieves pressure.
Oh, are you joking?
Wow. Shocking awe coming from the command shockwave. Kog'Maw, WildTurtle also picking up a kill onto Innox instantly after they had the crowd control to cinch those 2 down. And it looks like they're going to be go ahead, walk across the horn on this one and take it all down. Helios gets hit up, so they're going to put some extra damage on the backside of that. Level 14 to level 12, and you'll see that just among most of the champions levels. TSM far and ahead in this game.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking they didn't have to play all these little games.
Right.
But man, does it look good when you finish.
They
like
are going for every kill. They're going to wipe down Evil Geniuses at the end of the game, surgically removing them from the map in a 32-minute matchup here on Summoner's Rift. 16-5 as the TSM chants come out. TSM taking down Evil Geniuses. 32 minutes.
Well, strong showing for the lineup of TSM. However, they had already beaten EG every other single time
That's
they
a 4-0 for the split. Yep.
So it's not like bringing in Lustboy was the key that they needed to overtake Evil Geniuses.
I think this is a Baron talk right here. What happened? What was that? Wait, don't do that again. You scared me. You guys, you scared me.
Well, even if they, the thing is, even if they had given up that Baron, even if Evil Geniuses had stolen the Baron,
yeah, it would have been defensive.
If TSM even just killed Helios for that, then they could have 5v4 pushed in and won the game anyway.
That's true.
But yeah, it was an interesting move.
So a 4-0 on the split for Team Solo Mid versus Evil Geniuses. Coming out in 32 minutes there, just about regular fashion for these games. Their longest matchup of the split was 50 minutes. The EG tried to take TSM into the long, late game, but still TSM prevailed in that as usual. Dyrus actually on Lulu. Hasn't played it a ton, maybe 3 or 4 times, but still putting up a really great fight on that top laner.
Yeah, and it was the same old Dyrus that we're always used to seeing. He slowly gets his CS lead, nothing flashy. He doesn't even run back and forth in lane. He just presses S and stands there.
Yeah.
He's a very calm,
He's a menace.
Calm bully in the top lane. And he slowly gets his lead. He chips away at your turret, eventually gets it.
So, of course, Team Solo Mid comes on to their first game with Lustboy and doesn't really have like any Lustboy-esque strategies or plays, so the fans are going to have to wait. It worked out well. The team played overall just very composed. It was a TSM. They played some wheelhouse strategies, and the vision game was utterly awesome that came out from the entire team. They were able to keep it down. Like you said, the ward clears on point the whole game. It's kind of like they were playing inside the head of EG.
And again, amazing, still undefeated on Elise.
Yep.
He went 6-0-6. He didn't even die this game, by the way. So a lot of people always talk about the Lee Sin for him.
Yeah.
But the Elise coming up pretty big too. There's Lustboy after his first victory in North American LCS.
Seemed to have good play with the team. Picking up Morgana for this first time to come out. Safety for the Kog'Maw, something WildTurtle could get an advantage on, and then combined with everything else they had. And great shockwaves from Bjergsen throughout the game. Very patient with those.
And he set up a lot of them by himself, too.
Yeah,
he didn't even
That's
have
not easy.
someone
not dropping
to put the ball on. The last one that he did on Altec was just ridiculous.
To catch an Orianna almost mid-jump as she's trying to leave, that's not the easiest thing. Command Shockwave does have that charge, so they see it coming at you. Like you said, you're the person setting it up. Takes fast fingers and a good positioning to make that happen. Yeah. So with TSM on the up and up as well, a great time to have it here coming into Week 10 because all of these teams now are trying to shoot for the top spot. LMQ has it, and they're not too far away now from Team Solo.
We'll say at the least, this game has probably shown that bringing in Lustboy won't slow TSM down. People were worried that they would run into a lot of problems. Didn't seem like they had a lot of problems. I don't know how the communication went, but it seemed fine. People said Lustboy's English is great.
And that is a matchup to test it on. We even heard Dyrus. EG is not a team to be messed with. We've seen Altec and Krepo carry games against some of the top teams. So that is definitely a bot lane to be tested on. And in the beginning, they gave them a little bit of hell. Tristana, Altec did have that gold lead on Tristana. It's hard to do that with explosive shot in lane. So we'll see if it does play out as expected for the fans. To hear what the pros have to say about that match, let's send it over to Dash and Freak.
Thanks, Friv. We want to welcome TSM's Bjergsen and Amazing to the desk after a very solid win. Now, something I want to note right off the bat is how slowly that game started. So, Amazing, talk to me a little bit about the factors of why we saw 15 minutes go by without a kill.
Okay, early game, they have Søren in mid, they have Listen in the jungle. So we just want to scale versus that. We don't really want to force early plays, want to fight them early, because that's the only way we can lose that game. If Listen or Søren gets rolling, it's basically like one-shotting AD carries or something like that. So we didn't want really that to happen. So I tried to slow the game down, try to control the pace of the game, try to give our team comp time to actually rise and become stronger and stronger throughout the game. And therefore, the playmaking wasn't there in the early game and didn't need to be there.
So I have a follow-up then for you. How do you, as a jungler, like control the game and make sure no enemy jungle ganks can happen?
Okay, what we did early game was we saw the Mundo pick on top, so we kind of wanted to force the enemy jungle top. We tried to do that by forcing plays onto top in the early game, like in the first 3 to 4 levels maybe, just like pressuring the Mundo a bit, so Lee Sin would have to maybe short top because Mundo could have been Doven, but that didn't happen. I don't know if Lee Sin was top, we didn't really necessarily know, but that's like the play that we would do. And overall, just after that, you just try to defensively ward, try to get as much room for your team as possible, and basically exclude the enemy jungler from certain lanes and certain lane matchups that he can influence.
All right, well, then I want to jump forward to that 15-minute mark. Bjergsen, we're going to pull up the replay here. This is where you guys are in the bot lane. You end up acing them. So talk to me about the calls that were made to get to this point and why it exploded like this.
Yeah, we already had the initial bottom tower fight where we saw Helios and Shin on the other side of the map, so we decided to go for it. We just felt like we could continue pushing, and this crazy fight just happens. Helios gets a great kick on me. I don't have my flash up and he kicks me into the enemy team, which is really the only reason why this fight was any close. And if Dyrus didn't hit that Q, it would have been a bit cleaner, but everyone made slight mechanical misplays, and I don't know, it's a good fight overall. That's pretty much happened because we were trying to force when we felt like our comp was even or at least as strong as theirs.
Amazing. How close is that battle for you?
Jeez, man, that was pretty close.
I was gonna say you must have been, holding your breath there.
Right after he said, "This is so awesome."
That was pretty up.
I like your German accent for that one too. That was good. That was your good, amazing impression. Okay, so you guys pretty much took that game business as usual. You guys are now, if you didn't know, 11-0 versus the bottom 3 teams here. You guys are 3-9 against the top 6, though. Does that concern you guys heading into playoffs where you're going to face the top 6 teams?
For me personally, not as much. I think that a team like EG, I wouldn't consider a bottom tier team. They're very, very good. We've been scrimming against them a lot, and they do seem really strong, and we were definitely scared, and we were preparing a lot for them this week because they are a really good team. I don't consider them any worse than any other top teams. So it's mainly just Dig and LMQ that we haven't been able to win against. The other top teams, CLG and C9, we are able to beat, so we just need to figure out what it is about Dig and LMQ, and I think we'll be strong around playoffs.
So is then the first round bye really important for you guys to make sure you don't hit one of those guys too early in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's obviously really important to get the first round bye, and that's what pretty much everyone is working so hard for these last 2 weeks, and that's what we're going to try to achieve.
You play CLG tomorrow, Amazing, and this is just going off the point of that first round bye because they're one of the teams that is vying for that position. Bjergsen mentioned you guys have beat them, but what are the keys now to beating them in this final match of the season?
I think last time we kind of threw the game, we had a similar game afterwards with C9 where we did the exact same stuff, and didn't really throw that game. So we just have to go through our motions, go with the flow, and basically do what we practiced in the last few weeks, and we'll beat them. That's what it is. Just be confident about it, and that's about it.
Okay, well, you guys speak about coming in with confidence and kind of continuing your good record against CLG. You guys have changed up your roster, though, with 6 games to go in the regular season. Lustboy comes in. Tell me how meshing with his new player is going.
For me personally, it's going really well. Lust has had a lot of worries about his English and him coming from Korea and how we would take him, but he feels like everyone is super nice and super kind to him, and we feel like he's just a great player. Playing with him is a joy, and that's not taking away anything from Glebe. It's just saying that Lust is an amazing player, and I'm happy to play with him.
Amazing. Actually, a quick follow-up for you. How is actually his English? How is his in-game coordination with you guys?
It's like he can say the basic words, he can explain what he wants to do, and that's the only thing necessary. If you know what he wants to do, like, you can make plays of that, and he kind of has this certain game sense to him that you can feel as another player too. Like if you're playing on that team, you know what he wants to do without even communicating. And then if he communicates on top of it, it's a bonus.
All right, well, it'll be fun to watch him continue to mesh with you guys and see how you progress during this playoff race. I want to thank you for your time on the desk, congratulate you on the win, and wish you best of luck tomorrow. Now, we've got to go stealth for 3.5. After the break, Cloud9 will face off against Team Dignitas in our third match of the day. Keep it right here because you won't want to miss a minute of the action.
Snap back to reality. Out there goes gravity.
Out there goes gravity. Chokes is so mad, but he won't give up that easy.
Can TSM pull this one around? Helios actually making a huge play. The rest of EG with quarter of the health bars are able to come in. Amazing! Turn it around. No, they don't. Amazing comes up huge. This is good damage. Double shockwave. Innox is going to get hit up after that. A triple kill coming in for WildTurtle. Helios just on the outside as they stop. And he's going to go in. Oh, my Amazing says thank you very much from the outside.